Welcome to Maths by Mansour. Today's topic is division. And before I start showing you bus stop division, which is going to be the most useful skill you learn here, I'd like to just take some time to actually talk about division as a concept. There's two ways to think about it. And I'd like to start with perhaps the easiest way to think about it. Let's take seven items, $7, £7, seven of anything, right? One way to think about division is to then say, well, I'm going to split those 7 items between 2 people. Now, if I literally just draw out 7 items, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's pretend we got 2 people. There's my terrible attempt to, there you go. Stickmen. Right. That is absolutely awful. Right, so 7 divided by 2. I'm going to actually divide up those 7 items between the 2 people. So I'm going to start dishing them out one by one. So you can have that. You can have that. Okay. You can have that. And you can have that. And you have that one. And you have that one. And actually, you can see that I've now given each person 3 items. But I've got this one here that's left over. Now, you can write this, okay, as the answer to that is 3, remainder 1, okay? So if you divide 7 by 2, you have 3 items per person, remainder 1. Now, if you take that same idea and think of it slightly differently, I'll show you what that looks like. You might find this easier to think of it as, okay, so I've got 7 items again. Same division. 7 divided by 2. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One other way to think about it is I've got 7 items and I actually can sort of circle these as 2 items at a time. So if I'm dividing by 2, how many of these 2s actually have I got inside 7? So you can take your 7 items and think, okay, well, I've got these. That's 2. So I've got 1 of those. I've got these 2. So that's another set of 2s. And I've got these 2. So that's 1, 2, 3 sets of 2s. And again, I've got this left over. So the answer is still 3 with a remainder of 1. There's 2 separate ways to actually think about division. Whatever works for you, honestly, go with it. You know, I actually prefer this because when it comes to much more difficult topics, which I'll address separately when we're dealing with fractions, thinking of it the first way around, splitting items between people, it's actually a lot more difficult when you're trying to understand fractions. So let's stick to it as how many 2s can I fit into 7. So what happens then when it's no longer something as easy as just 7? Well, if I want to, divide 283 by 2. Now, we can try and halve that or think how many 2s fit into 283, but that could take you a very, very long time, which is why we use a method to sort of make that a lot quicker, which is the short division method, or otherwise known as the bus stop method, which I don't really know how that came about. I suppose, not sure if you use buses in the UK, but yeah, that kind of looks like a bus stop. But this is short division, okay? So we're going to put the 2 here. So the divisor, or you're dividing by, is the 2, which goes on the outside. And what you're dividing into goes under this bus stop here. So 283. The way this works is you start fitting the 2 into each column, like we do with just addition, subtraction, multiplication. If you split everything up into columns, suddenly it becomes a lot easier. So, okay, so how many 2s can I fit into 200? Well, 2 into 2 goes only once. Or, more importantly, if you have 200 and you're splitting between 2, that's 100 and 100. So 100 2s fit into 200. Or just stick to single digits to speed up the process. 2 into 80 goes 40 times. So 80 divided by 2, if you like, is 40. But 2 into 8 goes 4 times. It's the easy way to think about it. And 2 into 3 goes once. So now, if I fit in 2 into 3, let's take those 3 items. Okay, so I've got 2 into 3. So 1, 2 goes in there, and I've got this 1 left over. So at the end, I know I've got 1 left over, so I have to put this remainder of a 1. That's it. So my final answer is 141, remainder 1. I'm going to leave that there in your visual so that you can have a go at, so pause the video whilst looking at that because it's quite difficult to visualize. Have a go at 584 divided by 3 this time. Feel free to pause, keep that visual in front of you, and have a go at that. Okay, so well done for trying. Here's what it looks like. 3 into 584. Now 3 into 5 goes actually just once. So I can fit one whole 3 into 5, but that gives me 2 left over. So actually, I need to now carry that 2 instead of using it as a remainder. So actually, that 2 now is carried as a remainder to the next column. So 3 is now going to 28. Again, 3 times table. So I'm thinking, okay, how many whole 3s can I fit into 28? The answer to that is 9. So 9 times 3 is 27. I've got a remainder again, a remainder of 1, because 28 take away 27 is 1. So okay, I'm going to now fit that 1 as a carried number to my final units. So I'm now fitting 3 into 14. Now 3 goes into 14 exactly 4 times, leaving me with a final remainder, which I could just write as a remainder of 2. So just to readdress that, when you've got a remainder before the end, like we did here, you have to carry that remainder to the next number and the next number until there's no more numbers to carry to. We'll leave that there. Okay? The next one to try is, let's make it a bit more difficult. We're going to put a double digit. I'll make it nice for the double digit, but let's try and fit 11 into 856. So trying to fit 11 into 856. Feel free to pause the video and have a go at that. Okay. Well done for trying. Again, if you're wrong, no worries. Have another attempt at it, or just follow a worksheet to practice this over and over again until you get them right. So here's 11 going into the number 856. Now 11 into 8 doesn't actually fit. So this time I'm actually going to carry the whole thing. So I'm going to write 0 here because 11 into, well, technically it's 800, but as a digit it doesn't fit. Okay, so I'm going to carry that 8 to the 5. I'm now trying to fit 11 into 85. Now 8 times 11 is 88, so it's gone over a little bit. So I'm going to have to go a bit below that. Now I've got 77 that I can make with 7. So 7 times 11 is 77. So that's 7 whole 11s I can fit into there. Now that's quite a difficult, sum to do. Now, although this is short division, it's important to know that, you have other skills that you can rely on. Now, to find a remainder, I need to do 85 take away 77, which actually is quite difficult to think about. I'm going to do it here. So 85, again, units under units, tens under tens. I'm just going to subtract that. So 5 take away 7, I can't do because 5 is smaller. So I'm going to borrow a 10, making that a 70, and now that a 15. 15 take away 7 is in fact 8. And then 70 take away 70 is 0 tenths. So what's left over is in fact 8. So I'm going to carry that 8 to 86. Well, that's actually helped us out a little bit because I know that 85 take away 77 was 8. So 86 take away 77 is going to be 9. So now I've got 77, so 7 whole 11s fitting in with a remainder of 9. Now, before I end this topic, you don't actually always have to use remainders. Now, that answer, the more sophisticated version of that answer, is in fact to put that remainder over the number we were actually originally dividing by. So if I take you on 77, I can write that as my whole number. And to turn this into a mixed number and not using R, I could just put that 9 as a nice little fraction over 11. So 17/7 and 9/11ths is in fact the most sophisticated answer you can give to that. Okay, thank you.